Welcome to this place called Earth and the Project, Moral and Ethical Inversions. In this short emotional scarcity versus emotional inflation, the value of your presence, take one more breath with me. Feel into what it's like when someone genuinely cherishes your presence and what it's like when someone simply expects it. That quiet difference is what this short is about. We understand scarcity when it comes to money, time, or food. We know that when something is rare, we treat it with care. But most people never think about emotional scarcity and emotional inflation. If you flood a system with a currency, its value drops. If you flood people with unbounded access to your time, energy, attention, and emotional labor, something similar happens. Your presence becomes emotionally inflated, always available, easily taken for granted, and then you wonder, why don't they appreciate me? Why does it feel like I give 100 and receive 10? Scarcity used as manipulation versus scarcity as self-respect first, an important distinction. There is toxic scarcity, ignoring people to punish them, giving affection inconsistently to control them, love bombing, then disappearing playing hard to get as a game that is manipulation. It uses people's nervous systems as toys. What we're talking about is ethical scarcity. Being honest about your limits, not being permanently available to everyone, treating your energy as finite, being intentional about where emotional depth is given. This isn't about playing games, it's about not living as an emotional vending machine. Emotional inflation in relationships. Emotional inflation happens when you're always the one people vent to, 24/7. You're always ready to talk, no matter how you feel. You're always the last minute backup plan. You're always the emotional regulator when others collapse. At first, you might feel needed. Over time, you feel unseen, exhausted, quietly resentful. Because the more you give without boundaries, the less people notice that you're giving anything at all. It becomes the assumed baseline. The nervous system cost. Your nervous system cannot be permanently open without consequences. Chronic overavailability leads to emotional numbness. I feel nothing anymore. Burnout, social fatigue, irritability, decreased capacity to be truly present. On a moral level, you're now spilling out low quality presence instead of intentional, meaningful presence. Everyone loses, you and them. The ethical role of scarcity. When you pull your energy back into balance, your yes becomes more trustworthy. Your time becomes more weighted. Your words carry more impact. Your presence feels more significant. Not because you're now rare in an egoic way, but because you have realigned your giving with your actual capacity. You go from, I'm always here no matter what, to I'm here in a way that's real, not self-erasing. That shift creates natural emotional scarcity. An example from the workplace. At work, if you've been the one who always takes on extra tasks, always fixes messes, always rescues deadlines, you have inflated your own emotional labor. When you start saying, I'm at capacity, I can't take this on without something else being removed. No, that doesn't work for me. Your contribution suddenly becomes more visible. Some will be annoyed. Others will finally see the weight you've been carrying. Either way, the truth surfaces. Personal example. In your personal life, this might look like no longer answering calls at all hours, not replying instantly to every message, declining invitations without long explanations, not always being the one to follow up or hold the thread. As you do this, you might feel guilty, but you'll also feel something else, a return of self-respect. And as that happens, the people who truly value you will adapt. They'll meet you in the middle. They'll start using your presence more consciously. The ones who don't, they were relating to your availability, not your humanity. So to close this short, your presence is not a cheap mass-produced product. It is a finite sacred resource. When you treat it like that, the world around you is forced to respond differently. Your presence is a privilege. Treat it that way.